Hello friends, I'm Elder Keith Ellis, and this is part 2 of the 3-part series, The Shocking Truth About Christmas. Now, the mother-son worship, which is observed during the Xmas season, is just more paganism wrapped in Christian clothing. It is not Mary and Jesus that are the objects of this worship, but the pagan gods Semiramis and Tammuz. Semiramis was Nimrod's mother and wife, and was worshipped as the mother of God, the Queen of Heaven. The Virgin Mary is also worshipped as the Mother of God. See the imitation and deception which is taking place using Christian terms? See Jeremiah chapter 44. And if we remember, Nimrod was the one who led the rebellion against God when he began to build the Tower of Babel. He was also the founder of Babylon, the root of great confusion among the world today. He also taught the children of men to rebel against God and to worship the host of heaven. Tammuz was the child of Nimrod and Semiramis. Different variations have either Tammuz or Nimrod being worshipped as Baal, the sun god, his birthday being December 25th. Regardless of whom, it's Baal worship. And rest assured, it's not Jesus and Mary that are being worshipped on Xmas. It's Semiramis and Tammuz masquerading as Mary and the baby Jesus. Remember, these are pagan practices described with Christian terminology. Let's not be fooled any longer. Now, one of the next staples of this pagan holiday is the Xmas tree. One might ask, what does a decorated tree have to do with the birth of the Son of God? Well, absolutely nothing. Where does the Xmas tree originate from? Well, there are some variations on the exact origins, but suffice it to say that all the stories have pagan roots. Much earlier in human history, the evergreen tree would be associated with Nimrod, who turns out to be the true Lord of Xmas. And we just mentioned Nimrod started the great organized world apostasy from God that's dominated this world until now. He is said to have been a mighty hunter before the Lord. Many think he was a hunter of men's souls. This is evidenced by the multiplied billions whose souls have been taken in the evil snare of Nimrod. Remember, Nimrod married his own mother, whose name was Semiramis. And after Nimrod's death, his so-called mother wife propagated the evil doctrine of the survival of Nimrod as a spirit being. She claimed a full-grown evergreen tree sprang up overnight from a dead tree stump, which symbolized the springing forth unto life of the dead Nimrod. Now, on each anniversary of his birth, she claimed Nimrod would visit the evergreen tree and leave gifts upon it. December 25th was his birthday. This is the real origin of the Xmas tree. In the 8th century, several new twists are placed on the story concerning the Xmas tree, which came out of Germany. None of them have any scriptural basis. All of them have pagan roots, and they've evolved in what we see as the modern Xmas tree today. Now, traditionally, a Yule log was burned in the fireplace on Xmas Eve. And during the night, the log's embers died. There appeared in the room, as if by magic, an Xmas tree surrounded by gifts. The Yule log is in reality the sun log. Yule means will, a pagan symbol of the sun. Yet today, professing Christians speak of the sacred Yuletide season. Sacred, or should that be scared? I opt for the latter. The Yule log represented the sun god Nimrod, and the Xmas tree represented himself resurrected as his own son Tammuz. The prophet Ezekiel faithfully spoke out against the abominations of the pagan practices of the children of Israel when he speaks of the women weeping for Tammuz. See Ezekiel 8 and 14. And regarding the pagan practice of the Nimrod tree, we read this in Jeremiah 10, verses 2 through 4. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not made at the signs of heaven. For the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth the tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails that it move not. This sounds just like a modern-day Xmas tree. Now, these are the ways of the heathen gods which God's people are not to learn, much less practice these ways. So still think it's harmless? Where is your authority as a Christian to engage in this pagan practice? Now, a study of the phrase green tree in the Word of God is very revealing. Every such use has negative connotations. It is very plain that God is not pleased when the green tree is used in religious observances. Check for yourself. Okay, now, what about Santa Claus? Santa has not always appeared the way we think of him today. The first well-known gift giver was a true person, St. Nicholas. Now, he lived in Myra. Today we know it as Turkey. In about 300 A.D., born an only child of a wealthy family, he was orphaned at an early age when his parents died of the plague. Now, he grew up in a monastery at the age of 17 became one of the youngest priests ever. Many stories are told of his generosity as he gave his wealth away in the form of gifts to those in need, especially children. Legends tell of him either dropping bags of gold down chimneys or throwing the bags through the windows where they landed in the stockings hung from the fireplace to dry. Some years later, Nicholas became a bishop. Hence, Santa's bishop hat or mitre, the long flowing gown, white beard, and red cape. After his death, he was elevated to sainthood. Eventually, the Catholic Church incorporated St. Nicholas into their Xmas deception. We'll see that Santa is not the friend of the truth and reminds us of another who sought to ascend above the stars and be like the Most High God. Who could that be?
Could it be Satan?
Today, even when the baby Jesus is not allowed in the town square during Xmas celebrations, guess who is welcomed with open arms? That's right, Satan Claus. Just who is this person anyway? Well, someone says Satan, Santa, is harmless. He's just the personification of giving. Really, my Bible tells me that Jesus is the personification of giving. For no greater gift has ever been given than the Son of God giving his life for his people. If you study Satan's devices real close, you can see that he is a cheap imitation of Christ. Who really knows when you're sleeping, or knows when you're awake, or knows if you've been good or bad, as the song goes? Is it Satan? No. Jesus only does. You see, they're giving Satan Claus, sorry, I did it again, the very attributes of Christ. This is also blasphemous. And who is it that can really be everywhere in one night? Satan? I give up. And his magical sled and reindeer, or the omnipresent God? The Bible teaches it is God. And to top it all off, you purposely lie to your children telling them that Santa is real. So what are your children to think when they find out you've been lying to them about Santa and the Easter Bunny, who they can see? Will they believe you when you tell them about Jesus, whom they can't see? And when was it ever okay to even tell a lie? Never. You teach your children that Satan is good and just and will reward them exactly with what they want if they're good. But if they're bad, they will not be rewarded. Again, this looks like an imitation of God's justice. Who is the only dispenser of what is good and just, or punisher of evil? When you tell your children that they will have to ask Satan when they want something special, are you not usurping true prayer to God, the Father to whom we are to pray and depend on for our every need? Why, yes, you are. That's the conclusion of part 2. Go to our website at www.paradisepbc.org and look in the video special section to watch parts 1 and 3 of the shocking truth about Christmas. I'm Elder Keith Ellis, and until the next time, may the Lord richly bless you.